Hello everyone, this is CJNovo992 and today we're back for another brand new video, and I sit in front of you people, greyer, older, Sarah than I was the last time you saw me, but also a massive weight right off these shoulders right here as we have finally, finally reached the international break because I've needed a break. We've also won a game as well. All joking and that aside, this is obviously a great performance, especially if you look at it on paper. St Mirren came into this game one of the only few teams around the place that was still unbeaten in one of the top leagues, so it was good to go there, get 3 points, score 3 goals. If you missed the game, you check that up on your scoring apps or whatever, you're looking at it and you sit there and say, wow, what a performance and what a result that is for Rangers. But, and I'm no gonna pick holes in a 3-0 away win, ladies and gentlemen, but it certainly wasn't a great game of football. I've seen one tweet, right? I've seen one tweet at me, and this is probably, I know it's 99.9% people think this is ridiculous, and I do as well, but I've seen one person saying, CJ, based on that away win, should Stephen Davis be given long? No, troops. Dinny, annoy me, let me be happy for a little bit, you know what I mean? Stephen Davis has done a nearly an impossible task, picking up the pieces, trying to hold them together like Hodor for Game of Thrones, troops, and just get us through what we needed today. Obviously the European game was an absolute embarrassment. We managed to get a fantastic result and win right here. Now we have went into the international break, people, and it's time Rangers Football Club start acting like Rangers Football Club and actually go on and getting a real manager. And for me, I'm going to be speaking about one tomorrow that I really want to be announced in to this football club. But whether it's him or not, or this guy, all I want is a manager that's going to come in and kick some arses. Because we won that game today. But if you watched it like I did, in every setting like I did, troops, like I know 99.9% of you who's clicking into this video all felt the exact same way. That there was still slow and painful. We were just quite lucky we were against 10 men for the majority of it. And I feel like this is one of the most important periods in Rangers' recent history now. As we go into an international break, there's an opportunity to get a real manager in there. He's got his own way of playing, his own philosophy, and hopefully, people, a bit about him that can kick some arses. That would be great, and try and revitalise some of these players, make decisions on other players, figure out what you want, and start getting some toys back that's been injured for the last little bit. So that's where I feel is the football club. But there is one thing that Stephen Davis did do in his short managerial career, by the way, 100% win ratio in Scottish football. Congrats to Stephen Davis. There is one thing that I do want to see continue, no matter if it is the guy who I want, which I'll be discussing in tomorrow's video, or somebody else's, this youth given an opportunity, troops. Because if you look at it, right, for the majority of this game, again, the scoreline never tells you the full story what happens in a game. That's why we started doing these videos. The two players that stood out to me, despite everything you're going to see on social media about your Tavernier goals, Raskin man of the matches, yes, they were good, people. But the two guys who really sparked a different life into this Rangers team, a different vibe to this Rangers team, was the two young laddies that was given opportunities from Stephen Davis. Zach Lovelace, who was given his first start, which was sensational to see. A wee bit of backstory, by the way, as well. I'll peel back the curtain a little bit. The couple times I've been into the training centre and that when I was filming videos and that with him, I actually met Zach Lovelace a couple times, and something that really stood out to me, because I met like a lot of the players, I met a lot of the younger players on it, there's something about that lad, he's got so much confidence in his own belief, and he just stood out to me. I remember saying to Div after the fact on our phone, I was like, there's something about this young lad, I feel like he's going to be a real player. And one of the things he done, by a wee funny story if you will, is he picked the ball up and said, CJ, get this on camera, and he ran by about 4 different players that was trying to nail him, went through and the goalkeeper went round him, tried to score, hit about 17 yards out of the bar. Now, unfortunately, I didn't have it in camera, but again, just his arrogance to pick the ball when we're away filming saying, get this on, beats loads of folk. There's something about that laddie that I just like, and I think a lot of it is the fresh ideas and the fresh belief. They're no bogged down and beat down by past failures and past mistakes and a loss of confidence. What you saw today was two young laddies just giving absolute everything because they realise what a privilege, troops, and it is a privilege to play for this football club. I think some players who are sleepwalking through games these days and feeling sorry for themselves and going in wee huffs with the fans and everything like that, aren't they realising just how privileged they actually are to wear the crest on their chest? And say what you want about the young laddies, they give absolutely everything. I thought Lovelace gave everything, obviously ended up getting injured, we'll speak about that in the next couple of minutes. And young Ross McCausland also came in. You look at that, Zach Lovelace is 17 years old, McCausland is 20 years old. Alex Lowry, who should still be here, and I was very frustrated when we loaned him in the first place, is another laddie who should be here, who is skilling, thrilling, scoring and assisting for Hearts, big goals in big games, playing fantastically. He is 20-year-old. That's another laddie who should actually be here. And all the frustration and maybe the darkness and people feeling frustrated about where we are as a team and the duds, if you will, we've got in our teams, your words and everything like that regarding certain players, where a lot of people's are feeling down about the squad, you actually look, there is some bright sparks there, and I just hope they're given an opportunity, because they helped win this game and wrestle the game away from being what we've seen over the last couple of weeks and months, and being slow, laboured, load management-esque, if you actually will. And it's not just them, you've got Bailey Rice there, 16-year-old laddie, right, he might only be 16, but if he's certainly got the talent that we're hearing about, there is nothing to suggest that we can't put him in to these types of games, especially in Scottish football. And again, I'm not sitting here taking shots at the league or anything. We know the standard, we know the quality. If every other club can go and play their 16, 17, 18-year-old laddies week in and week out, why can't we in certain games, troops? I'd love to see wee Bailey Rice give an opportunity. There's someone in the middle of the park who's got something about him. And you look at the defence and that as well. The defence, which is dreadful, and it always seems to be. You've got young Leon King, who is still just 19 years old, and people are thinking he's done or he's wasted his opportunity. He was an 18-year-old centre-half, broke for the youth academy, back up and played partnered in a defence that was all over the shop, sitting beside a centre mid for the LS. Let's not forget about the likes of Leon King. And you're looking at that 19, 17, 20, 20, 20. They're laddies, 16. There's laddies there with a future who want to be here, who will give everything if given an opportunity. And I just hope the manager that we bring in doesn't go with the false mistakes and the previous issues and mistakes that the previous managers have actually made, and look beyond that and go with names, go with established. Let's give the youth players and young laddies an opportunity and see if they can take that step up. That's all I'm asking, because to me, the two of them played a major part in helping us win that game today. But moving away from the youth argument and youth discussion and everything like that, and for me, I think we need to stop looking at them as youth players. The Rangers players by merit, and I think when you're given an opportunity on the park, the likes of Lowry's and that have took all those opportunities. And I'm going to leave the Lowry stuff on our side because it still drives me absolutely crazy. But let's get into this game. Young Zach Lovelace was given an opportunity to start, which we were all excited about, and then we had like the Tav, the Barisics, the Goldsons, the Lunnies just hiding in the back and be like, didn't he notice me? I'm going to play bad again. And we all got lost in the hype and remembered there were some that probably should have been dropped and should have been rotated, but you could say Davo's hands were tied or whatever you'd like to say. But the game started probably the way you were expecting it to start, quite slow, quite laboured, but again the bright spark was Zach Lovelace. And I'm just going to jump right to the biggest incident and the big opportunity that really flipped the game on its head. Jose hits a pass into Lovelace that I think a lot of people are even, the touch is disgustingly good because it's fired at him. He touches it when he's outside of his foot, brings it in, fakes the inside, runs outside, drives to the byline. Drives to the byline and whips a dangerous ball in the 6-yard box. Now, it's Rangers Football Club. No one's attacking the front post or anything like that. That's just, you know what I mean, water is wet. But Sima has made that run to the back post, and the St Mirren player knows that. And he's threw his arm out and had a fingertip save that stopped Sima from scoring and Zach Lovelace for getting the assist. His moment of brilliance, and I mean brilliance, actually deserved. And we ended up seeing the replay. It was quite obvious it was going to be a penalty kick. It did take 3 minutes from VAR, but there's a lot of VAR stuff gone wrong. I don't know if you've been paying much attention to English football. VAR officials making mistakes and everything like that. So it did take a long time, and then it gets called over. The referee goes and looks at it, gives the penalty, and also gives the red card, which I thought was strange at first because I thought, wait for the double jeopardy, blah blah blah. But then I actually saw the slow-mo and what the referee and all that. So the reason he has been sent off, because I've tried to look at it for this video and everything like that, is because he's made his hand towards the ball. He's made a deliberate act to move his hand towards the ball to stop it, which is stopping a clear goal scoring opportunity. If it's down here and it's hit him, I didn't think he's getting sent off there, but because he's made a deliberate move towards the ball, that's quite clever. He's tried to be coy, but he's maybe forgot VAR is actually there. The referee, I think, actually makes the right call here. Red card, up steps Tavernier. Tavernier tucks it away. You can see the frustration for the celebration, but Tav, we're just as frustrated with you, mate. Don't worry about that for a single second, lad. But he tucks up, does his job, does what a Rangers captain should be doing, and that's setting the tone for Rangers. And the only frustration for there is we didn't then put the foot down and really put this game away. And do you know why, people? Because Zach Lovelace got injured just a couple of minutes there. Because again, he had moments, he had little bits, he was threatening, he tried to run by Gogic, ends up getting hurt, does his hamstring, and you're like, that's Danilo started, scored, injured, off before half time. That's Lovelace, who's also on his first league start, by the way. He's playing well, creates the first opportunity, injured, off before half time. We are truly cursed, and we are certainly not allowed any joy. And young Lovelace goes off, but Ross McCausland again grabs his opportunity, and right away just these link-up plays, imagination. Again, he's not overly coached and overly beat down and so used to playing a certain way. He's free, he's just the way he moves and drifts everywhere. It's just, I know it might just seem daft, people, but when you're so used to watching a robotic, lifeless, drilled Rangers side, seeing these young laddies come up and given an opportunity and offer something different, it's just like, oh, you just stare at it and you go, aye, that's what we as fans want. We didn't want the over-drilled robots. We want to see football players allowed to be football players. And McCausland was linking up play and dangerous runs for the second he was on, and he should have had an assist, by the way, with a brilliant finish, a brilliant little touch pass, sorry. Barisic hits a long ball. McCausland just runs right here to the other side. Back either, it's so delicate. He's probably going to get shouted at. By the way, you're not supposed to be there. You're supposed to be the right wing that facilitates for Tavernier down the right hand side. He just sprints there to the left hand side. People, let's keep a wee bit of imagination and creative freedom in the Rangers team, because look what happens. He's not bogged down on the right. He runs right over. He does it back to Raskin, and for me, Raskin should do a hell of a lot better here. Now, I know we're not allowed to criticise Raskin or anything like that, but he's 5 yards out. Why is he going to blast it? I think he's blasting it straight at the goalkeeper. It does take a slight deflection, and the goalie, deflects off him and just hits the goalie anyway. But that's when I want my midfielder taking a touch there, getting the shoulders out and just tapping away. He's got so much of the goal to hit, and I know it might seem like a wee nitpicky thing, but if we want to be what we want to be, people, we need our players 5 yards out, not just rashing and blasting things. Let's see a bit of composure, let's see a bit of quality. He's got it in his game, so I feel like it's worth mentioning, even though I know he's going to shout at me, say it's deflected. There's no need to blast that. You're 5 yards out. Let's see some individual quality. But aye, that takes us into half time, and again the biggest frustration was the fact that Lovelace went off, and also we couldn't grab that second goal despite young McCausland ending up creating a clear goal scoring opportunity. But against 10 men, coming out in the second half, adjust this, adjust that, let's go, really put the foot down, and I was looking forward to the second half. Silly me, people, because I can't lie to you. Yes, the scoreline was 3-0, but the first 15 minutes of that second half was putrid, and honestly I was confused. I started to wonder, is it us that's doing to 10 men? Because St Mirren was all over us, winning several free kicks, several corners, putting the ball in the mixer. Thank God for Jack Butland, by the way, coming and claiming so many of them and just catching the ball. That there's probably goals over the last couple seasons. But aye, it was bad, it was pathetic, it was slow, it was pedestrian. I mean, Lundstrom nutmegged someone at one point. When you get nutmegged off Lunny playing like this, lad, it's maybe time to hang the old boots up. But aye, he tried a back heel a minute later and fell over it, and it was just that slow, passive, annoying way. But every time, again, I went to McCausland, we pass him behind, and Sima was starting to heat up with a couple good little runs, and we finally, and I mean finally, jumped right to the second goal after some bad, slow, awful bits of play. It's a long ball, but Raskin runs in behind, and for one of the few times in the second half we make our numeral advantage count. We just never had almost like a situational awareness. It was like we just didn't understand that there was space there if we played quickly, but we did on that occasion. It's a great ball by Tavernier. Raskin gets his head up and he passes it across goal for Sima to have a free shot on goal. We finally had a teammate unselfish enough to set someone else up. Oh my God, I could greet right now. Someone putting the team first. We Raskin. That's better for you. I want to shout out to Sima again, very, very brief. It wasn't his best overall performance of that today, but you know what I like about him is he's involved. He tries, he runs, gets stuck in, and you saw his celebration. That's now 5 goals in his last 6 games, and it's no surprise to me if you actually are a good side and you create opportunities. The big lad is showing his individual quality. Again, Brighton didn't buy duds, troops. They've made an absolute living on bringing in guys with talent. Now, it's on us to have enough talent around them to give him opportunities. We're starting to do that. He's put 5 goals in his last 6 games, giving a wee bit of the kiss of the badge and that. He's really bought in. It's probably the biggest frustration. The only forward we didn't actually sign for money this season is our best performing one. Ironic, but that is Rangers Football Club. Speaking of one of the signings we did bring into the football club, Dessers comes on. Wee Ross should have another assist here, by the way. He was robbed for Raskin and he's robbed for Dessers. It's a great ball in behind. Dessers does everything right, runs through, creates the angle, tries to shoot, but honestly, it's so weak, it's so limp, it's just the guy with no confidence, troops, you know what I mean? And the closest he's ever looked to Alfredo Morelos, by the way, is when he fell after shooting and done a wee bit of a knee slide. That's the closest he's came to replicating Alfredo Morelos, falling and accidentally doing a knee slide. But we did get the third and final goal, and the way that it came, troops, it's an absolute scream dream beauty of Tavernier in the middle of the park. He has a shot, it's blocked, comes back out, and he just rips a volley. There's nothing I can say apart from that. There is absolutely gorgeous and makes me think, troops, right? I think his legs are gone, right? I'll be honest with you on that fact. We've moved fullbacks to the middle of the park before. Can we, and just stay with me here for a few seconds as I do lose my mind, can we move Tavernier at the middle of the park and just push him a little bit forward? Because there is no one in the comment section that can look me right in the eyes right now and tell me he's no the best finisher slash striker of a ball that we've currently got with Danielo's face broken into. Nainies can do it. Maybe it's time, troops. If the young still, if we can get a tune out of him, start playing him, maybe it's time to move Tavernier where he's more effective now as he's getting a little bit older, because defensively, he's all out of the shop again today. He's nutmegged and everything like that a couple of times today. But the strike, the ability that lad he's got is absolutely disgusting. And as bad as he has been this season, you look at his goals and assists, where would he be? I feel him probably 7th, 8th in the league. That's the worry. And that was it, troops. That was the game, that was the set, and that was the match. The only thing that I haven't spoken about is the fact that St Mirren fans just seem to have one sound, and that's boo! I mean, they were booing Lovelace, who was getting stretchered off. That was embarrassing. They were booing non-stop. It was like somebody got that CD for the end of Ibrox games. What is actually happening? I mean, they're the types of guys who would boo their maw for ordering a takeaway, troops. I've never seen anything like it. But moving away from St Mirren fans, we got the win. We ended their undefeated streak, and aye, because of the goals we scored, we now move above them on goal difference. I feel sick. I feel ill. But that's it, ladies and gentlemen. That's all I've got to say. You've provided a spark in this aging, lifeless Rangers side. Long may that continue. And whoever comes in, certainly hope he stays and backs and sees that as well. And we'll speak about that more tomorrow. But that's all I've got to say. What about you? Let me know your thoughts and opinions down there in the old comment section below. And as always, I've been CJ Over92. Thanks so much for watching. All the best and bye-bye.